All right, folks, I'm here at the Warner and Swasey Observatory. It's in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's completely abandoned, and it's really, really awesome to explore. Now, if you don't know much about urban exploration, one thing that you often have to do when you're exploring urban areas is you have to trespass. But the great thing about this building is that it's wide open to the public. It's completely dilapidated, probably very dangerous to be inside, but the door is wide open. So when you walk in, you get into the main hub of where everything was. I'm guessing these are where they had some information centers. And then if you look on the ground, you can see that they had the zodiac signs and some really cool art. Like you got Scorpio right here, which is cool. So we've got a lot of different directions we can go. I'm going to start us off to the right. I turned right, and I was going to say left. So we got this pit here, which is why I brought the nice heavy-duty flashlight. So when you come down here, you've got the auditorium, which is pretty cool. You got the screen right over there. When you're down at the bottom, you've got a pretty incredible view looking back up. I mean, just look at that. Lots of graffiti, lots of decay. A lot of the gunk on the ground is from the ceiling falling in. And then throughout the building, there are lots of exits to the outside. So we'll see a lot of these as we keep going along. So right now, I believe I'm alone in the building. I've gone through once, and then another person came, so I showed that guy around. But I don't believe anyone's currently living in here. But there might be other people who show up, so if we see other people, they are just touring like us, and hopefully won't kill me. So, turning right, you can see that there were a lot of learning rooms. Now this room, if we get down to ground level, you can see that it has a lot of dirt. And if you wonder where the dirt came from, you can see that the ceiling caved in. And you can get out onto here. The glass is shattered out. You can get out onto the roof, but there are better roofs to explore in this building. Surprisingly, it's very structurally sound. The only part that's really not is this step right here. It's pretty loose under there. So when we come up here, you can see a little bit of electrical work. And then where we are right now is the old projection room. So if we look through a hole and then shine the light, you can see the screen. It's a small hole, so it's hard to angle this right. That's where we just were. So coming up here, you got a couple of pipes and stuff blocking you, but you're in the open air. Now here's a roof. It's pretty easy to get out on. And when you're out here, you can see that dome pretty good. But to see the best view of the dome, we're going to go all the way up. So when we climb up, and then we get in, you can see that much of the dome has decayed. But you can still see it has all the wheels to open it. So theoretically, aside from being rusty, you could still open this dome. Got the crankshaft mechanism right over here, the old electrical box. And all the way around the dome you have a little parapet type walkway, which is very cool. And while you're out here, you can see the other dome, which we'll get to momentarily. It looks like there are a couple other people who've showed up. So we may see them in the video, like I said earlier. We'll say hi, try and be polite and non-threatening. and hope they do the same. So coming back down, we have a couple options. We can go over to the right side of the building and that other dome, or we can go into the deep, dark basement. So we're going to go into the basement, and that is why we have a light. So you can see a lot of the graffiti down here. So as we make our way around, we'll just be seeing, down here is a lot of empty rooms. Not a lot of craziness. We'll see a lot of the innards of the building. We could crawl into the ductwork if we really wanted to, but I don't. Feel free to do that on your next visit. Now, this is a pretty massive room. Now you can see how a lot of anything of substance has really been removed from this space. And all that remains is the structural core. What's crazy is that this building is right in a residential neighborhood in Cleveland, completely accessible to anyone who wants to come. So I said we were going to the basement. That wasn't the basement. The true basement is over here. And when you come down, you can see that you've still got some of these really heavy-duty doors. And to get into the next area, you have a really heavy metal door. It takes a bit of effort to open it. Then when you're down here, you've got the heating room, and we're really going to see a lot of the innards down here. I believe there's another furnace further up. But what I really enjoy down here is all the leftovers. So this was apparently a part of a college. So you can see a classroom. It's got a chalkboard. But one of my favorite design characteristics is that the wall is made up of these tiles that are still here. You can see they're kind of marbled. So despite the graffiti, you can still make out that really awesome characteristic. So this is what I would say is the true basement of the building. You can get out and then walk through the weeds to another space, or the street, I guess. So another weird thing is that you don't really need the flashlight in the actual basement. Where it's most necessary is the sub-basement level. Which, I don't know, is an odd design characteristic, I guess. So we've seen all of this, and now we're going to forge ourselves into new territory. Here's that other furnace I was talking about. You can see that it used to go up here, but has since become an open air window. There's not a lot of glass in the windows. There's some shattered on the edges, but most of it's underfoot. So as we go this way, you can see a lot more rooms. We're kind of just in the underbelly of the observatory. You can see a lot of support beams that were there to hold up the telescopes, which are obviously not there anymore. That'd be pretty cool if they were. But got a lot to see. Go that way in a moment. So this is a staircase up to the exit. It sounds like those other folks are right out there. You might have heard them in the background, but it would appear they haven't yet come in. All right. So I'd say we've seen about half of the observatory at this point. I'm going to go over to the other side. I'm going to watch out for this hole in the floor. Got some more dirty underbelly, how everything's working. We've got this tunnel, got this warning for death, which is much appreciated. I like knowing when death is coming for me. So we've just got some empty rooms. Now this is a circular room. We are right underneath that other dome right now. But we are still at the sub-basement level. So you can get behind the stairs and into all the crawl spaces around here. There's a lot of really tiny nooks and crannies that I would call murder rooms. Like, yeah, you could come back into this little gap and just kill a guy. No one would know. Not that I endorse killing people. Ah, still a light switch here. I didn't know that was there. So, coming up these stairs, that goes to another nook and cranny. I believe this used to be a shower. Now we're still below the other dome. You can see that the floor is completely caved in up there. So now we come over here. Now, I just don't want to climb over this, but we could get in there or exit the building again. But here's another small little nook and cranny. And then we head up the stairs. Find a place where we don't need our flashlight anymore. And walk out into the other dome. So there's that hole in the floor. And you can see that this dome is in much better shape. Relatively speaking, it's a lot more intact. People have climbed all the way up there to make graffiti. You can still see the full crankshaft mechanism there and attached to the dome up here. You can clearly see where the telescope would go and where the telescope used to be. And then, just like the other one, this dome has a catwalk. Although it has a safety railing that just kind of goes missing after a while. And it comes back in spurts. But in general, I wouldn't really bank on the safety railing to help you out. We are just about done walking through the whole building. Need our flashlight again because it's getting dark. So we come to this room. As you can see from the outside, it has these arched windows. I'd say these probably have the most glass of any windows still in the building, which is not a lot, but it's something. And as we keep walking, we make it back to the main dome room. So that is the Warner and Swasey Observatory here in Cleveland, Ohio. I highly recommend you come check it out. It has got to be one of the coolest places I've ever seen. Thanks for watching.